What's good, Twitter? What's good, everybody? This is DC and shit. Um, I just wanted to show y'all how like simple it is to make a Lex Luger beat. So I'm about to like show y'all a Lex Luger-ish beat that I made in about like I don't know 15 minutes, some shit like that. Um, Orchestra hits and shit. You know what I mean? One octave, C5. Then there's one that's a little bit higher at C6, and then there's one at F6, right? That is the fucking pattern of the song. I edited somewhat on this side. I made this octave a little bit higher. Instead of F6 is G6. But other than that, this shit is exactly the same. You know what I mean? So this is pretty much what Lex does. Lex, you know what? Let me just delete this shit. Fuck it. I don't need it. Yeah, that should do it. Alright. So, all I would have is this shit right here, right? So, let me get that in a solo, John. Alright. So, this is solo. So, this is the only thing that's gonna play. Okay. Now, to give that like more definition and more like volume, like to make that shit like not what we do is we copy this shit. We copy this whole entire little pattern, right? Then what I do is I drag it up 2 octaves higher. So you remember where C5 was at? Now I'm gonna drop this at C7. You know what I mean? So let me play that now. Deselect. Alright, so we already got our orchestra hits. We pretty much got our main melody. So once you have your main melody, like that's pretty much like, you know, like what's gonna prolong throughout the entire song. But you want to change that shit because you don't want it to sound too repetitive. But for this demonstration only, I'm trying to only make this video like 5-7 minutes long. So let me continue. You worry about your hi-hats and shit. Lex has a lot of like different like combinations with his hi-hats. He makes it real unpredictable, and that's also what I do. So as you can see right here, the hi-hats are spaced one square apart, one grid apart, I'm sorry. And then when they roll, they sort of like join together. You can chop that using different settings, but for this whole purpose, I'm just going to show you how it sounds. So now a lot of people like been asking me like how I've been able to like get that little zzz, like you just draw up in there like that. What you do is you edit the velocity of the hi-hats. All of these are individual hats, so you can see right there how I got that shit like curving up in like a little uppish pattern, so like it'll fade in instead of fading out or just sounding all repetitive and shit. So we got that. So let's hear how that sounds with the orchestra hits. Alright, so now we're moving on to what are these? I think this is the additional hi-hats. This is the one that actually gets the little psst sound. So alright. Now this right here is the snare clap that I got up in here. So I'm gonna add that. Snare is only placed by one in the middle of the grid. I think this is the kick. got your Lex Luger beat. Real talk. Alright, so with about 6 instruments, orchestra hits, the hi-hats, the clap, the snare clap, the kick, and the 808 bass, we done already pretty much done made. Alright, so I think this is the bark, and I usually like have a bark up in there, you know, to get a track like some amp, like to make that shit hype. Cause you don't want a boring track. Like you want people like when they hear that shit, like they gonna nod their head like yeah, this shit rocking. So I believe that this is a chance. So and we done made it. We done pretty much made a Lex Luger beat in 6 minutes. Yeah. Look how long that loop is. 4 seconds long. 4 seconds long. Now, to make the orchestra hit sound like nicer, what I do is I normally add a plugin called Sound Goodizer. It's pretty much an extension of, if you know the Fruity program, which most people should know. Well, I mean, if you're looking at this video, I'm pretty sure that I'm assuming that you know how to do something with FL Studio. If you don't, oh well. But I use Sound Goodizer patch at about halfway to give them orchestra hits, like about a nice hit. Alright. And there's your Lex Luger beat. You dig? Yeah. Now, like I said, this is only 8 minutes, so like, you know what I mean? If y'all was expecting like a beautiful quality, oh my god, how did he do that? Nah. This is 8 minutes. This is pretty much the backbone of what you will probably hear on the radio. And that is a Lex Luger beat. You dig? So let me say that shit. And I'm gonna open up this next track. And yeah, y'all gonna enjoy. Okay, I'm done. Deuces.